Hey guys, it's Josh, and today's video is going to be another explanation one about the Tales of the Sierra Central. I kind of got so caught up in explaining the reasons why the show exists that I completely neglected to list my concerns and goals for the series, so that's what today's video is all about. Basically, to start us off, making a show like this is not an easy task, if you can believe that. It is actually, when you put in the attention to detail and the level of quality that I want to put in, it can be a very stressful process despite being really fun, because there are lots of things to worry about. One of the biggest issues that plagues creators like myself is the issue of quality. Quality is a very interesting issue to deal with when creating a show like this. I've watched multiple shows on YouTube of a bunch of talking trains on things like Train Simulator, even a few HO scale things every here and there, but that's kind of where I got the impression that I really should make Tales of the Sierra Central a good quality series that people would want to watch, because some of the other things that I've seen that are created by some a bunch of freaking Gen Alpha filmers is just not that good quality, and the plot doesn't make sense. Now granted, there are some shows where the plot does not make sense and yet they still manage to make it work really, really well. You could say Rick and Morty in some cases, and Smiling Friends too. That's also been pretty fun to watch. So things like that can make a really weird plot and still manage to make it work, but when the show takes a serious tone like what I want to do, that's when the issue of continuity starts to be a little bit more of a requirement for a show like mine. Basically what I'm trying to say is good quality stuff can come in really any form. It could be in the form of plot, it could be in the form of visuals, it could be in the form of characters, it could even be in the form of foreshadowing if you really want to take it to the next level. But good quality can sometimes even be bad quality, if that makes any sense. Like those low quality memes that everybody's been raving about, the funny little shorts with the old 2000 style cartoon characters we all love. I love watching stuff like that, and yet it's formatted in 240p and none of the stuff makes any sense, and that's why it's funny. Stuff like that can get away with bad quality and still be good quality, if that makes any sense at all. For me, I don't really have much of a concern with quality and plot, as I've pretty much decided on what I'm going to do regarding those, but one of the bigger concerns that I do have is the number of characters I have in the series, the number I plan to introduce in the series, and what I need to do with those characters in the series. As you guys know, I have 2 good railfans and 6 main locomotives so far in the series. And as I've teased before, I'm going to introduce Cyril's, the TRC SD40-2 to the story, and perhaps a few more. One of my big concerns regarding the characters is, considering I've got a lot of them planned, I need to figure out how to give personality to each and every one of them, because like I said in the last explanation video, what I wrote before basically had no character development for the big metal machines, and that's something I'm going to change with the introduction of this series. I gotta give some personality and some backstory to these locomotives. The point of all that is actually to get people to resonate with the locomotives instead of just them doing stupid shit all the time for literally no good reason. Of course, we're still going to be doing some operations on the Sierra Central. That's the way the railroad runs. We are going to see how the railroad runs, but aside from the engines just doing nonsense all the time, I want them to actually go on amazing digital circus adventures if Kane made them good, as well as learn some biblical lessons throughout the show. That in itself is also another one of my big concerns about the show. The reason I'm concerned about biblical lessons is because I know there's going to be some people out there who just don't want to engage in that. And that in itself hurts, because as a Christian, I want to at least give everyone the chance to know Jesus. I want to help save as many people as I can. That's really the sole reason I'm even on this earth in the first place, as well as why the series even exists. I just want people to experience the same joy and salvation that I have. Now, moving on to probably the biggest issue that I face at the moment is introducing Josh the Dash 9 into the series. The biggest issue that I currently face with introducing Josh the Dash 9 into the series is that he's literally, well, me. I'm introducing myself as a locomotive in my own series. And that's not a problem in itself. What is a problem is that I have seen what a massive main character shift like this can do to a channel. I'm sure we've all heard of the very crazy and controversial Mario Plush channel, SuperMarioLogan. Well, almost exactly 10 years ago, as of the time of this recording, wouldn't you know it, Logan uploaded the infamous Mario the Babysitter. It was the turning point for his channel because it introduced Jeffy.
Oh, hey, you want to see my pencil?
What, who are you? What are you doing here?
My name is Jeffy. See, it says it on my shirt. Jeffy.
Yep, I'm talking about this now because I'm kind of a newer SML fan and I don't know as much as a lot of the others. What I do know is that Mario the Babysitter was a massive turning point for his channel. And not in 100% a good way either. Because with Mario the Babysitter, Jeffy became quickly the literal most popular character on SML. And everything started being about him not long after that was uploaded. Jeffy brought a lot of good and bad to the SML channel. The good part about it, one of, if probably not the only good thing about it, was that he turned into SML's big cash cow, the literal new mascot for the channel. But other than that, that was pretty much about all the good I can think of with it, as there was a lot of bad. There was so much controversy. He ended up on TV.
So you know who's kid-friendly and who's not kid-friendly?
Yeah, like Super Mario Logan. I watch him. He's one of my favorite channels.
He ended up in lawsuits.
I immediately thought the worst, and it was true. And I said, open it, read it for me. And she's like, it's a letter from a lawyer from Nintendo. And it says they want you to stop using their characters.
Okay, maybe the lawsuit part was due to him getting too much attention from using these Nintendo characters. But the worst part about the whole thing regarding Jeffy is that once everything started being about him, the characters that he had introduced to his little show prior to all this, like Shrek and Woody and Tony the Tiger and probably a few others I don't know about, were all just like either demoted to even more secondary character or just completely forgotten about and never used again entirely after a while. I mean, we've seen... I watched a bit of the modern SML. We've seen a couple appearances of Woody. We've seen a couple appearances of Shrek, but they're nothing like they used to be. That is honestly my biggest fear with the series so far when it comes down to introducing Josh the Dash 9. Because my backstory is so large compared to the other locomotives, because it's my own personal story, I'm worried that the series could end up getting too much about me and just abandoning the character development of the other engines and the human characters, and possibly even the danger of forgetting about some of them entirely. I've seen what that can do to a channel in terms of quality, and I really do not want to follow the same path as modern SML, which now prioritizes quantity over quality because of the whole cash cow thing. I honestly think that SML is undergoing the 5 stages of an empire right now. What I mean by that is the 5 stages that I can see of being an empire are creation, the rise, the peak, the decline, and then collapse. Personally, I think SML is now undergoing phase 4 of being an empire, which is decline. And if anything more keeps happening, like the recent demonetization of the newest SML channel that didn't last more than a day, but he got lucky on that one. But if stuff like that continues to happen, the SML empire will collapse at some point. That's why I'm scared for Tales of the Sierra Central, because I know that at some point this series is going to undergo those 5 stages as well. I personally think Tales of the Sierra Central is starting phase 2 of becoming an empire, which is growth, because the series has earned me a decent number of subs so far, a couple dozen of them actually, and I want to keep the series growing as big as I can to reach as many people with the word as I can. Because like I said, I want to help as many people find Jesus as possible. That's why I'm here. What I don't want to have happen is the show collapse before I'm done with that, because that would just be a complete disaster. That's honestly the reason why this video exists. I created this video because I wanted to document my concerns for Tales of the Sierra Central early while it's still growing before this main character change. And I know that I know that when I introduce myself into the series, it's going to be a turning point. We already saw the reaction in the live chat when Josh the Dash 9 rescued Johnston from the scrapyard. So if this does become a massive turning point, I really do not want the show to go the same general direction as Super Mario Logan. And if it does go that general direction and the series starts to engage in phase 4 being an empire, declining, then I want you guys to comment this video in an episode or 2. Like, do whatever you gotta do. I don't care what it is. You gotta just like link this video in the comment and like put the title of the video in the comment and like repeat something I said in this video. I don't care what it is. Do what you gotta do. I really don't want this show to go down like a lot of other popular shows have. That's why I made this. So that's about all I have to say for this video. If you're listening until the end, you are awesome, and may God bless you. So thanks for listening, everybody. I will start production of episode 4 probably in the coming days, because I have all the materials needed to do it now. Almost all the materials anyway. But yeah, thanks for listening, and I will see you guys when I have an update on episode 4. So take care, everybody.